Good morning, students. So, this is Physics, Class 12th, Chapter number 6. And in this lecture, I'll be discussing the assignment solutions of the chapter that was given to you in the last lecture. Okay, so in the first question, it is given that there is a magnetic field and a coil is present there. Okay, so I am reading the question first. It says a metallic rod of length L is rotated with angular frequency omega with one end hinged at the center and the other end at the circumference of a circular metallic ring of radius L. Okay, so we have taken a circular metallic ring of radius L. Let's say its radius is L. Now a rod is present there and the one end of the rod is at center and one end is at circumference. Okay, so that means length of rod will also be equal to radius of ring, that will be equal to L. Okay, after that the question says a constant uniform magnetic field B parallel to the axis is present everywhere, and the axis is this because this rod is rotating about this axis. So this axis is lying this perpendicular to the plane of ring, and magnetic field is parallel to the axis, so that means magnetic field we are saying downward, so this axis and magnetic field will be parallel to each other. Okay, now you have to calculate the induced EMF between the center and the metallic ring. Okay, now you know E is equals to minus d phi by dt, and the formula of magnetic flux is BA. So because B is constant here, so it will come outside and we will keep area in the integration, because as the rod will rotate, it will change the area. Okay, suppose if initially it is here, after some time it will be here, after some time it will be here, so this area is changing. Okay, so B dA by dt, I am neglecting negative sign. Okay, now for an angle of 2 pi, when it will do one complete rotation, angle will be 2 pi and the area covered will be pi r square, that is pi l square. So if I am taking, let's say it is here and the angle is theta, then for theta angle traced will be, for theta angle, area traced will be pi l square upon 2 pi into theta. So now let us put this value of area in this. So E will be equal to B d by dt of theta, A, that is pi l square 2 pi upon theta, because this is the area for angle theta. Okay, so now pi will cancel out, L square upon 2 is constant, so it will come outside. So you will be left with d theta upon dt. Now you know d theta upon dt is nothing but omega. So this will be the answer, B omega L square upon 2. Okay, so the next question says a current is induced in a coil C1 due to the motion of current carrying coil C2. A part says write any two ways by which a large deflection can be obtained in galvanometer G. So we can obtain large deflection galvanometer by moving the coil C2 fast, because when you will move it fast, the induced EMF will change rapidly and therefore the galvanometer will show sudden deflection. And same thing will happen when you will continuously keep switch on and off the key. When you will switch on or switch off the key again, once the current will induced, once it will decrease. So therefore again the induced EMF will alter very fast and therefore the galvanometer will show very sudden deflection. Okay. B part says suggest any alternative device to demonstrate the induced current in place of a galvanometer. So in place of a galvanometer we can use bulb. When the current will flow, the bulb will glow very high. When the current will decrease, the bulb will get dimmer, and when no current will be there, the current will become zero. Okay, so bulb can be used. Third question says if the current in the circuit reduces from 5 ampere to 0 ampere in 100 milliseconds and the EMF induced is of 200 volts, calculate the calculate the self-inductance of the coil. So as you know, E is equals to minus L di by dt. E is given in question, I and T are also given in question. So you can easily calculate L from here. It will come to be 4 henries. Okay, so the next is question number 4. It says a coil Q is connected to a low voltage bulb B and placed near another coil P as shown. Give reasons to explain the following observations. First is the bulb B lights. See, as you can see in your circuit, in P coil AC source is connected. If AC is connected, that means current will keep changing. If current will keep changing in P, therefore EMF will be induced in coil Q due to mutual inductance, and therefore due to that induced EMF, B will light up. Bulb B will light up. Okay. Second part says bulb gets dimmer if the coil Q is moved towards left. That means if coil Q is moving away from coil P, the distance between them is decreasing, and therefore induced EMF will also decrease. And as induced EMF will decrease, the bulb will become dimmer. Okay, so the next question is question number 5th. It says you have two rectangular loops, one of copper and another of aluminium. They are rotated with same angular speed and same magnetic field. So that means radius is same because they are identical loops. B and omega are already given same in the question. Now, as you know, E is BLV, or you can write it down as V is R omega. So LR, that is, this is nothing but area. So BA omega. Now all the things are constant. B is constant, omega is constant, and because R is same, A is also same. So that means E will remain same for both of them. So induced EMF will be same. In the second part, it is asking about induced current. Now, as you know, weight of copper is greater than weight of aluminium. That means radius of aluminium will be greater than radius of copper because the resistance is inversely proportional to area. So if resistance of aluminium is greater, and as you know, resistance is inversely proportional to current, that means current induced will be more in copper coil. Okay, so next is how we can reduce eddy currents in a metallic core. We can use eddy currents by using a material which has less area. Because see, if a material will have less area, its resistance will be high and therefore the current will be reduced. 7th question is a theory question. I think you have done it in your notes also. So L, B and V, three terms are given to you. So you can easily calculate induced EMF will come to be BLV. Next is question number 8. It says a rectangular coil of area A having number of turns N is rotated at f revolutions per second. That means small f is nothing but frequency. In a uniform magnetic field B, the field being perpendicular to the coil. Prove that the maximum induced EMF in the coil is 2 pi f NAB. Okay, so now these terms are given to you in question. Now, as you have studied in AC generator, induced EMF is NAB omega sine omega t. Now, because here B is in perpendicular direction, therefore omega t will be 90. So sine 90 will come to be 1. Or you can say E maximum will be equal to NAB omega, and omega is nothing but 2 pi f. So this will be the maximum induced EMF in the coil, NAB 2 pi f. Okay. Okay, so the next is question number 9. It says that you have a rectangular loop and you have a circular loop, and both are moving in the field free region. That means they are moving out of the magnetic field with same velocity. So V is same, magnetic field is also same. Now it is asking for which the induced EMF will remain constant. See, when this will move outside, this length will remain constant. B and V are already constant. That means induced EMF will come to be constant for rectangular loop. Now if we see for this, when this will come outside, this length will continuously keep on increasing outside the magnetic field. That means L will keep on changing. Therefore, induced EMF will not be constant for a circular loop. Okay, so it will remain constant for the rectangular loop only. Okay, so the next question is question number 10. It says, if the value of resistance in the circuit is decreased, what will be the direction of induced EMF? See, if the current is if the resistance is decreasing, that means current will increase. Now, as you know, according to Lenz's law, induced EMF will try to oppose the increase in current. So the current will be induced in clockwise direction, that is opposite to initial current direction. Okay. Okay, so the next question is question number 11. It says, if the magnet is falling through a ring, what will be its acceleration? Will it be equal to g or not? Now clearly look here. Suppose this is the north pole. Then when this north pole will fall towards this, so upper face of this coil will acquire north polarity. You know this. So now that means when it will approach this coil, so its motion will be opposed, because see, there will be a repulsion between north and north. So its motion will be opposed. Now, if the motion is opposed, that means its acceleration will not be equal to g. It will be less than g. Similarly, in this case, when it has crossed the ring, when it is falling away from the ring, again, in lower phase, the north polarity will be there. That means there will be attraction between them. So that means again, the motion of this magnet will be opposed because it is falling downward, and there will be an attraction between north and south. So again, its motion will be opposed. So again its acceleration will not be equal to g, it will be less than g. Okay. Okay, in the next part, see, if the question says if the your coil or the ring is cut from somewhere, what will be the induced will the acceleration be equal to g or not? So now see, if it is cut from somewhere, there will be induced EMF, but can a current flow in a circuit which is not closed? So answer is no. That means if it is cut from somewhere, the induced current cannot flow in the ring, and therefore if there is no induced current, that means there will be no force of attraction or repulsion. So therefore acceleration will be equal to g in that case. Okay, so in these cases there is a force of attraction and repulsion between the coil and the magnet, therefore acceleration is coming to be less than g. But when the coil is cut from somewhere, there will be no current in the coil, and therefore there will be no force, and hence the acceleration will come be equal to g only. Okay, so the next is question number 13. It says a jet plane is moving with a speed of 450 meter per second, and the horizontal component of the earth is 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla, and angle of dip is given to be 30 degree. You have to calculate the induced EMF between the wings which have a span of 30 meter. Span means which have a length of 30 meters. Okay, so all these terms are given to you in question. Now clearly imagine when the airplane flies, will it cut the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field or vertical component? You can easily say it will cut the vertical component. For example, look here. This is the direction of a plane. Now this is the horizontal component of Earth and this is the vertical component. So this airplane will be cutting this only because it is traveling parallel to horizontal component. So because this airplane is cutting vertical component of Earth's magnetic field, so we will be considering only V. So that means in this case, magnetic field will be equal to vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. That is B will be equal to V. Now from the previous chapter you know the formula V by H is nothing but tangent theta. So from here V will come to be H tangent del, H tangent del. Tangent del is given to be 30 degrees. So tangent 30 is 1 by root 3 and H is 4 into 10 to the power minus 4. So this is V, or you can say magnetic field for this case. Okay. So now induced EMF is BLV. So B is given to you in question, L is given and V is also given. So you can calculate easily, it will come to be 3.12 volt. So this V will be equal to B only. Okay. So E will come to be 3.12 volt. Okay, so the next is question number 14. It says there are two coils, and if the first part says if the separation between the coils is increased, what will be the effect on mutual inductance? Okay, so the formula of mutual inductance is mu naught N1 N2 A by L, where N are number of turns, A is the area of the coil, L is the length, and mu naught is the permeability. Okay, so if the separation between the coils is increased, that means induced EMF will decrease. So if induced EMF will decreasing, that means mutual inductance for both of them will also decrease. Okay. B part says what will be the effect on mutual inductance if number of coils is number of turns is increased. Now see, if N is increasing and because M is directly proportional to N, so that means mutual inductance will also increase. Okay. C part says what will happen if an iron sheet is placed between the coils. See, if you are placing an iron sheet, that means now the permeability of free space is replaced by permeability of a material. So that means instead of mu naught, there will become mu, and mu is equals to mu naught mu r. So you can say M, that is mutual inductance, is directly proportional to mu r. So now as mu r is there because due to the iron sheet, therefore mutual inductance will increase because mu is equals to mu naught mu r. Okay. Thank you.